$1,000. $1,000. $1,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger Covenant, breaker 7 seals. The war is happening, brothers and sisters. Great war. But no one's telling you about it. It's right in the scriptures. No one's telling you about it. But they don't know. Confused. Like in the case of Farrakhan, he has no idea what's going on. He's confused. He don't want to comment. Well, he says God told him to be quiet, but his dummy is speaking. If you ventriloquist, right? If you say, tell the ventriloquist to be quiet, his dummy shouldn't be talking either, right? But they're talking. But this time, they claim this time of great darkness. Well, they've been paying you, made you a multimillionaire over 40 years. So you be the light in the time of darkness. Now you say, hey, no light. Don't turn me on. I got to stay off. Wait a minute. We in darkness, we need a light. And you refuse to be the light? God told you, leave us in darkness? That's what you're saying. It's a time of darkness. But you're the light. That's what you said Sunday, right? They said Sunday you're the light. But how can you be light if you're out? Your light bulb just turn out, but how does that make any sense? For the time of darkness, you need a light. They're paying you, made you multimillionaire, you and your son, so you be the light in the time of darkness, and yet you say, hey, I'm not going, don't turn me on. What bullshit. But he's got less than 6 months, no guarantee. So I'm going to talk about a few things, brothers and sisters. I'm going to talk about one thing. I talked about it before. There's so many things to talk about, brothers and sisters. Me by myself. So I'm going to touch on the plagues, because there'll be plagues at the time when the 400 years is over, time for us to leave, and they refuse to let us leave, there'll be up to 9 plagues. So what are these plagues? One is going on, one has happened, and one is going on right now. And you don't know where it is. They don't know where it is. They're talking, how are we going to make communities safe? Oh, the house on fire, the movie theater's on fire. They tell you, make sure you pick up your trash, make sure you clean your seat. I thought what you worrying about just seeing where clean it up for? Don't Lord, don't leave any garbage on. Is that what? World's blowing up. America's in trouble. They tell how we're gonna make our communities safe. It's just stalling tactics, bro. It's just because they have no idea what's going on. They don't want to comment on it because they already made a. Well, they don't have to make answers because they answers to begin with. Right? I'm getting it started. Remember that 3 years ago? The so-called Savior's Day, that was their subject. Armageddon is started. Why must be a war of Armageddon? You seen a war of Armageddon? It's going to be in Europe. It's going to spread all over the place. It was exploded that Ukraine thing. I said, no, you're wrong. I said it's going to be in the Middle East. Go back. I commented on that back then. War of Armageddon is started. You seen war of Armageddon? It's going to spread all over Europe. Why must there be a war of Armageddon? And now all of a sudden, I told him to be quiet. Really? No war of Armageddon. Come on, brothers and sisters. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. 6 months, all his acolytes is going with him. They'll take him down with him. Stick offense. Okay, commentary, brothers and sisters. Okay. There's 9 plagues. I'm going to talk about one of them today. I mentioned COVID. I told you about COVID when it came. You understand? We've been 400 years here. 1619, 2019, those are the correct dates. As the dates Elijah Muhammad said, that 64 years was preparation. The official time of enslavement, because you get started by Joseph. Joseph, right, was in Egypt, but he helped them teach him what was going on. He wasn't quite, well, he was captive, but he wasn't considered a slave. But after that, they enslaved his family. See? So that's why it was a period. Anyway, move on, brothers and sisters. Okay. So they said it'll be 9 plagues. One of them is like redundant in a way. That's COVID. Because COVID speaks about actually 2 plagues. It's the first plague and the last plague. You can read that very carefully. But that would it said 1619 to 2019, that's 40 years, and immediately in 2020 a plague came. That's COVID. It said it would kill the firstborn, the elderly, and pass over the original people, children of Israel. Exactly what happened. They was lying to you. Bold-faced lie. Oh man, the black folks are dropping like flies. That was a lie. You can go back and check the World Health Organization called WHO, World Health Organization, and you can check on their website and found that it did not affect Black Africa. There wasn't social distancing. There wasn't wearing masks. None of that stuff. It wasn't affecting Haiti. It wasn't affecting you either if you're original. If you got some previous condition or something, it was affecting skin folk, black-faced devils, master's children, rape children. It was decimating Farrakhan's people. He lost some of his top people. And they're hiding a lot of the stuff. Because that woman, Ava, remember she was just one? No, she went out. And a few other of his top people went out. And they hide the reason why she died because they tell everybody don't take the shot of COVID. And she took it and killed her. They don't want to tell you that because they tell everybody else don't take it. They took it. A bunch of lies over there. Yeah. It came out right on time. January 20, how can you miss that? And I was telling you about it. I told you how it was, what it was, how it affected in Scripture, and what the impact would be. It was tearing up false Israel over there. They claimed they see Abraham. It didn't pass over them, but it passed over us. Oh, what? How many years ago was that? That was 6 years ago, I guess. 6 years ago, I guess, and it didn't bother me. I didn't wear any mask. I mean, you had to wear a mask going to Walmart or something. Hold on, brothers and sisters. So I told you all about it, how it worked before it happened. Not to worry. I didn't take the shot. I didn't worry. It didn't affect me. I told you, but it was wiping out. There's a lot of other stories behind that. I'm not getting into today, brothers and sisters. However, then another plague. I want to speak to specifically today. Now, if you go back, I guess see so many things to talk about. I realized today that I didn't talk about that in a while, and that's what's happening right now. Trying to cover things happening right now, specifically, and plagues is what's happening right now. It happened. I told you about COVID. I told you all other plagues too. I explained them. It's just that, before it happened, right? I talked about the plague of flies. And I remember last time I talked about that, but I said, hey, well, that's one of the things happening right now. Because the plague of flies, I told you, that has something to do with the people that claim they're Jews. It's the plague of flies. Could be rampant anti-Semitism, people against them because they cause all kinds of distractions and confusion and stuff in America. Like a plague of flies, distractions, pesters, and now America right now is in the grip of false Israel. They put people in jail for speaking against them, anti-Semitism, right? And then a war because of them, and so forth. So on. It's deeper than that. But the point is that that's the plague of flies. You don't know that, and they don't know it. And you have to know the angels that know that. It's the only way you can find what those plagues are. Is knowing the angel. Got the plague of gnats, plague of blood. The way you can know those plagues are, you have to know the angel key. I identified it. So I guess about a year or so ago. Hold on, I got an issue here. Just give me a second. What's going on here? What's going on here, bro? So I'm an issue with my computer. Oh, I know what happened. Problem solved. Well, I'll go into a lot of details about this. The plague of fly. See, all these plagues, they're hit with 9 plagues. And maybe tomorrow, maybe I'll go or either repost my previous video. That's probably what I do. It's out there. Because right now, these plagues are hit America. And the one right now is a plague of flies. And that's happening for Israel. They control the media. They're buying up all TikTok and CNN. All that. They're trying to control the media. Right? They control the politics. Right? Yeah, grip on America. It's that big plague of flies that will take place. Now they got America in a war with the Middle East. I don't know if I want to go in detail about that, brothers and sisters. That's a whole other subject. I just give you little highlights here. America didn't want to go to war with Iran. Okay. Well, Israel wants to go to war with Iran. And it's coming out now. But they're saying they need to go take Iran out so they can take control of the whole Middle East. I told you that's what they was doing. I told you that very distinctly a while back, and that's what they want to take. The only thing stopping them taking control of the whole Middle East is Iran. Because the Arab countries cannot stop them. They know that. They have to get rid of Iran. And they got a time frame. If I go into detail, brothers, I won't finish the rest of this presentation. I explained this to you. I said, it's deeper than that. I said, all about you. Okay, I might as well go into it. There's some background here. The so-called Jews were fake, and the Christians have been at war with each other for 2,000 years. 2,000 years. And it came to a head about 9 years ago, back in the 30s, right, when they was going to, the final solution, when the Germans was going to eradicate them. And everybody was on board with that. I can give you the history, I can show you the fact. All the European countries on board with that. Nobody had a problem with that. Until Hitler went after Britain, and Britain's like, their family. And so America got into the war and so forth and so on. But they didn't get a war because to stop what was happening, because in fact, it was hidden from the public. The military knew about it. And all the concentration camps, they burned them up. The military knew about it, and they did not bomb those camps. They said, how come we never bomb those camps? Because they wanted him to finish the job. They could have bombed the camps, and then people could escape. They didn't bomb. Not one concentration camp was bombed. They bombed everything in Germany, and all the places they had those camps, never bombed. Not one drop, one bomb in those camps. Not one time they knew where they were. Because they wanted it to happen. The most popular preacher in America at the time, I can't remember his name, he wasn't Billy Graham, but he was totally against Jews. And the Christian idea about Jews at the time was they killed Jesus. And that's why I was at war with them. And those so-called the 1,000 years, they try to tell us the future, that's the past. Chapter 20 is telling their past. If you just do a mental experiment and say, what if chapter 20 is about their past? The light will come on. They say it will come out, the chapter 20, they come out to see the whole world. That's one thing they see the world about that chapter 20. But chapter 20, their history, they was in dark ages. They try to, that's the future millennia. Just do a thought experiment, just say, just for laughs, right? Say, what if chapter 20 is their history? And the light will come on. Come on. They keep telling, no, it's in the future. No, that's their history. They're in dark ages for 1,000 years. Who put them in dark ages? Abraham's Islamic empire run by run under the authority of Prophet Muhammad. That kept them locked in. The word there was Messiah, not Christ. That's no story together, because the name of Jesus I'll give $5,000 if you prove otherwise. The name of Jesus was not ever used until 500 years ago. That's not the name they knew him by. That's not the name that was in the scriptures. There wasn't any scripture, any Bible anywhere until 500 years ago when the Protestant church broke away from the Catholic Church. Then they invented the name Jesus. Doesn't exist. And then they translated the Bible to Greek to get that name. It comes from Jesus. Ge in Greek means the earth. And Zeus was the god of heaven. So Jesus would be the god of earth. And that's the so-called Jesus, the god of earth, right? It's mythology. It doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. So I give $5,000 to prove otherwise. You thought that name that he was never known. And you can Google it. Google it, tell yourself. They never knew by it. The name didn't exist before 500 years ago. The name was Joshua. Yeshua. Anyway, let's move on. So Elijah Muhammad come along after meeting with the guy and said, no, we true Abraham because we had no vision. We know who we were. And he says, let's deal shrewdly with them. Let's cut them off from being a nation. So the name of Israel will be remembered no more. That's the plan because they want to eradicate us. It's a law. I'm not going into all the details. Miss Geese, the short version. And so all of a sudden, turn around. It was hating them and burning them up, and the next day it was kissing their ass. How did it happen? After 2,000 years? Because they needed them to keep us feeling who we are. They don't know they choose Abraham. So Muhammad said, no, we are. And we had the proof. The proof. We have 20 years of history here. We came over here in boats. The land not ours. Okay? And there's no history of them ever being in Egypt or anything. Because people, our vision perished. Elijah Muhammad was giving you a vision unites you. And they say, oh, no. Okay? So, now if you understand that, then you get a better idea what's going on. Because then that's where they established them. 1948. They established them as, remember, you go to the Promised Land. The Promised Land is not Palestine. It's Arabia. They couldn't pull that one off. There weren't enough of them. And plus, they really went crazy on that one. They couldn't pull that one off. They need that oil. They couldn't mess around with Arabia. They had oil at that time, so they couldn't because otherwise they would took Arabia and put them in Arabia because that's where they're supposed to return to, not Palestine. So they said, that's the closest. Let's put them there. We just tell the world, see, they return home. That's not what Scripture say. That's not home. And Jesus himself, the reason they hate him, because Jesus himself said, no, you ain't Jews. You're lying. It's right in the Scripture. So why are they saying that? That's why they crucified him. Because he said, no, you're not. And he put in his book, he says, no, those say Jews, they're not the synagogue of Satan. Their God says that. So why they calling Jesus a liar? You see what's going on? So he said, well, that don't make any sense. First they was hating him, and now why they love him? And even the God said they're not Jews, and the God said they're lying, and their synagogue said, well, it must be some. That's why everybody's so confused. They can't make sense of it. They keep saying, I don't know why it's doing that. They can't make because if they put you in the middle of it, they don't understand. Because the point is, they can't have you realize you trust Abraham. But if you are the God with you, and that's their end. You're rising. They can't have you to rise. Anyway, I'm still giving you a short version. I'm not giving it a total long because that take a while. Get a long version. Right? Okay, so that's the so the thing is that false Israel knows this. It knows that it's like two brothers fighting each other. They hate each other. They beat each other senseless. And then a neighbor comes in that hates both of them, and they say, "Hey, wait a minute!" They unite to get rid of that neighbor, right? And then after they got rid of the neighbor, they go back fighting each other again. See? And so the point is, they united. Daniel tells you that they united to deceive us, to keep us from figuring out who we are. Because that hurts most of them. See? So therefore, so now we brothers now. We was kicking your ass, now we're kissing your ass. After 2,000 years. And the Jews, look at their Talmud. Go Google their Talmud. That's one of their holy books. They say Jesus, what the Christians say believe in, is in hell boiling in his own shit. That's what the folk, so-called Jews are saying. That's their Talmud. So you see the conflict between the two? And what that still exists. So why are they loving each other now? Because they don't want us, they're trying to deceive us to know who we are, because we're the threat to the whole world. Okay. I'm trying to get this fly situation. So the thing is that America didn't want to go with war to Iran. See? Because the point is, their idea was to let Iran get rid of false Israel after they got rid of us. They only needed them, keep them there to keep us feel who we are. The nullify what Elijah Muhammad was saying. And once they got rid of us, then they're going to get rid of them. So Iran was a whole card to get rid of them. But Jews knew this. And that's part of what's in Epstein files, because they was covering up the fact that they was part of the so-called Jewish community, hanging out with the rest of the devils, and we'll be talking and planning. It was recording. See? They were recording. And that's what they were hiding. That's what hiding the Epstein file, what they really think about you, what they really plan to do with you, how they really take you out. And they had information. The Jews know it. People that call themselves Jews, they know. That's what holding over them. So they can't, if they reveal that, that means, yeah, because you're not supposed to know that they plan to get rid of you. It says it come to you as a snare. You're not supposed to know that. And those that reveal that's biting all the people, patting you on the head, right? They got a big old axe to cut your damn head off. Okay? But you're not supposed to know that until it's too late. That's part of what's going on Epstein files. It's going to be revealed in a minute. At any rate, so that's the plague of lies. So that's why false Israel knows this. They know they're against the clock. That's why they went and had to get nuclear weapons. Right? Kennedy tried to stop them from doing it, and they offed them, killed them, assassinated them. That was plan one, stage one. First become nuclear weapons so we can defend ourselves. Against who? Against the devils that's only using them to keep us from understanding who we are. They don't want them, they hate them. None of these two brothers hate each other, but they go on working together because they got a common enemy. So I'm saying, hey, so the thing is, it says, okay, we got nuclear weapons, we got to protect ourselves, because once you get rid of them niggas, they come back after us again. But they want to eradicate us. Their Bible tells them to eradicate us. Jesus tells them in their Bible. They say they're fake. They're synagogue of Satan. So that's stage one. And then secondly, right, you control the Middle East. Right? So they had them, because Middle East, this whole reality is fueled by oil. So therefore, if they got nuclear weapons to defend themselves, they got total oil, then they got the Christians by them. You know what? Yeah, superpower. That's what they're saying. This stuff is coming out every day. If you're paying attention, false Jews saying they want to be a superpower. Wow. I mean, they're actually saying this stuff. They want to be a superpower. They want to take over the whole Middle East. They got the ambassador Huckabee over there talking about, yeah, man, they should have the whole thing. It's coming out. I've been telling you for years, now it's coming out. All you got to do is go look at it. That's what he said. It was a big controversy. He said, yeah, they should have the whole thing. Wait a minute. And that false Jews actually saying, we want to be a superpower. So they can, so therefore they got nuclear weapons to keep America coming after them, and also got control of all. So they got them by the you know what, and they got to rush to do it because they know they're in a rush to get rid of us. And it's like a competition, right? They got to get rid of, like, those movies where the bomb is about to go off and tick, tick, and the guy got to do everything and just not before get down to zero. But they know they plan to get rid of, they know a timetable. And you see, Trump, he's doing all the things that's setting up to get rid of us. You don't understand what the gods of things going on. You understand what's going on with this so-called immigration thing. All these are things getting you prepared to get rid of you. When you go and fight, going to fight or you go to competition, you train first. You say you don't train with the real thing, you train with the dummies. Get people used to it. For the real game comes. So who's really committing genocide over in the Middle East? That's America. Because politicians were just pulling the trigger. They could not do it without the weapons and the ammunition and everything else America giving them. So it's America's really doing it. So get people used to genocide. Because if they did genocide on them, they hate you much more than hate them. There'd be no problem doing it to you. They get people acclimated, and the media's going along with it. So they do it to you. Everybody, it doesn't happen over here, man. Because right now, they ain't telling you about genocide going over there. That's all set up. America wanted to get people acclimated to that type of thing going on, used to it. And then the so-called immigration thing, rounding up people. That's a practice. They round you up. They did. They really exposed their hand in Michigan the other day. Was that Michigan, Minnesota, Somalis? Trump kind of like blew it out, right? The Africans. And then stuff went down. They hit the back. You might catch on. See? That's getting them get practice on rounding you up. The detention centers, we don't need them anymore. Why they build 2 major detention centers in Texas and Florida? They don't need them anymore. They ship immigrants back home. But now detention centers was for them to have a day in court before they send them back, deport them. They don't need anymore. So why are they still building them? Big ones. Who's in the prisons? Our people. So they made a deal with El Salvador. They can take American prisoners and send them down there, put them in prison down there, and you see them no more. And you want to see what's going on here? They're getting everybody popular ready, but because they have no choice to get rid of you. Not only that, they don't want. Not only the fact that they don't want you around anymore, but the other thing is AI coming in, and right now that's what the tariff thing is all about. Because they can't compete with China and these other countries that got AI, because the best car on the planet right now, electric car, is in China. But anything they got here. But it costs like maybe 10%. So if it costs $30,000 for one, right? It might cost $3,000 for one from China. You see, I might be exaggerating a little bit, but that's pretty much the case. But they won't allow them in here. Because you stop buying, just like you stop buying Ford and Buick and everything else, you stop buying Nissan and Toyota, Honda. Because it's a better car, and plus, it's much cheaper. So that's why he throw a tariff on it. So in other words, if it costs $40, their car costs $30,000, and a Chinese car costs $20,000, they put a $10,000 tariff on it, so you pay the same price. So that's where the tariffs come from. Then the war, and the AI, that means they don't need you anymore. They keep talking about behind the back, but if some comment bursts out every now and then, that guy was running for president from Texas back when they last election, they asked him about what happened with all the jobs with AI. Oh, we're gonna give them, we're gonna give them checks. You believe they're gonna send you a check? You don't have a job. They don't need you. They don't need you at Amazon anymore. They don't need you at Burger King. They got robots that flip those burgers. So in other words, they got to pay 10, 20 people. Say you got 10 people in there. They got to pay them $10 an hour. Say that's minimum wage, I guess. That's $100 an hour, right? So eight hours, right? 100. That's $800. They got to pay overhead. So what if they ain't got to pay that? That burger you're paying $3 for, I guess, costs you $1. Because they ain't got the overhead. They got a robot and they just plug them in. They don't need you anymore. Same thing, the so-called Civil War. They didn't do it because they had fields for you. They didn't need you anymore. The Industrial Revolution. I talked to brothers. I said, don't even know what Industrial Revolution is. Their machine stuff do stuff now. They ain't need you in the fields anymore. They threw your ass out. They didn't give you 40 acres and they threw your ass to the in the ditch, with their black-faced children along with them. Those are preachers and everything else keep you in the ditch. That's their children. These preachers and carrying on. Keep you blind to who you are. That's what's going on. They got to get rid of it. They have no choice. Otherwise, they can't compete. That's why I said, I'm just going to talk about this, brothers and sisters. Why would America, industry is one of the most powerful tools on the planet. Industry, how you make things, make weapons and carry on, right? Industry. So why would America move the industry off here to China? Why do you do that? Because one of the main hubs of industry was in Detroit. The black folks was mostly on that. And the point is that they didn't want you to have it, because that'll be hard for you to get rid of you, because now you start to control your energy, you start making money, you start doing things you want to do it, and you're going to start influence the nation based on your nature. Your nature going to start coming through. Say, for instance, you got a lion, you got him trained. So now he acting like a little puppy. All of a sudden, a whole bunch of herd of lions come rolling in. And you look around and you see, and all of a sudden, he ain't no puppy no more. So they started sending jobs to China. China got strong. They said, well, because they didn't want you to have them. And then your AI jobs, same thing. I went to the program. They found that black people are the best programmers. Don't take my word for it. I went to the program. It was run by Urban League. IBM furnished equipment and instructors. I went to the program back in 75. And Reagan came in and got rid of that program and brought the Indians in instead. And why couldn't they give it to the white folks? Because they're not good at it. They got millions of Indians here doing that. And they got white folks homeless and every damn thing else, and military, everything else can't hardly make it. So why didn't they give it to them? Because they're not good at it. And we're the best at it, but they want you to have it, because all of a sudden, you become powerful again. In the industry, they gave China and AI, they gave it to Indians to keep you from having it. Because they plan to get rid of you. And I don't need you anymore. How are we going to get rid of them? That's the plan. They're moving up. Now they got Trump in, and he's really moving fast with it. He's implementing all the plans, right? Get ICE to come in and learn how to gather them up real fast. See? Genocide is that people get used to people being killed. Nobody say anything about it. And the media's under control. The media's not even talking about it. You don't hear the media here talk anything about what's going on over there, and they wiping the people out over there. All this is going on. And they don't want you to understand what's going on. And you got Farrakhan, he telling you about he wants to stay here because he's part of the problem. He's with them. He's part of it. They're paying him to keep you blind to what's going on, distract you with all this bullshit he's talking about. When it's clear what's going on here. So, and Trump is moving up. He's cutting all your programs out. Right? There's more to it than that, but I'm just getting the highlights. Right? But they're moving fast. See? And politicians know that's the plan. Because once they get rid of us, then they're going to turn on them again. So that's why they're up against the wall. Man, we got to get power fast. Now you understand what's going on? Why they so... And America can't turn them down, because if America goes against them, then we figure out who we are. So they got America by the ass. You better help us, or we expose what you've been doing. And plus, they'll realize that that it's all fake. Because if black folks find what's going on before it happens, they'll tear this country apart. Black folks found what's happening before they were ready to pull the trigger. They would tear this country apart. They're getting ready to get rid of us. You ain't gonna have no jobs. You'll be starving. They would tear this country apart, and they know it. As far as they say, that's why they got Trump by the ass. You better not say, you better do what we tell you to, because you got to protect us, because if we go, they'll find out. There are two things. We'll tell them what you plan on doing. And plus, if we go down, they'll realize that they are true seed Abraham, because the true seed Abraham cannot be destroyed once they return home. They got by both ways, by the ass and by the testicle, and by the throat. See, if you put that in, then everything makes sense. Because everybody say, I don't understand why they're doing this. It don't make no sense. That's why they're doing it. And so, but false Israel knows they cannot take over the Middle East as long as Iran is there. Iran's too powerful. They can't take them out. So you got to get America to take them out. America said, we don't really want to do this. So our plan is to get rid of you, use them to get rid of you. You see the dilemma? But they got to move. So false Israel keep pushing them. They attack anyway. America's got to protect false Israel from being destroyed. So therefore, they got to get involved. They don't want America has no reason to take out Iran, not personally, not for that reason, because they want to use Iran to take out false Israel. False Israel knows that, so they got America to take out Iran. Because when they take out Iran, then they can take over the whole Middle East. Arabs are stupid. It says it in the scripture. They're stupid. It says they're like a donkey. It says it right in the scripture. They don't follow today like a dog of a man. He's stupid. But when Iran goes, what's going to stop them taking out false Israel? And what's going to stop false Israel taking them out? They cannot withstand. Look where kicking their ass right now. They took out Syria. Right? Only they took out Syria because the other Arabs, right, didn't do anything. Took out Iran, took out Libya, one step at a time. Lebanon. So they had no problem taking out the whole Middle East. The problem is, the only thing stopping them is false Israel. Iran. So they got to get America to take out Iran. America don't want to do it, because when they take out Iran, then false Israel going to take a whole Middle East, because I told you that what happened, Huckabee said it itself. Yeah, they shot the whole thing. And it caused a big stir in the Middle East. They said, wait a minute, hold it. I thought America was on our side. See how stupid they are? And now they're going to help false Israel take over the whole Middle East. So once they got once they got control the oil and atomic weapons, now they're a superpower, and nobody can fuck with them. That's their point. And they rush, because Americans in a rush to get rid of us. They know they got to do it before they get rid of us. Because they get rid of us first, and Iran's still there, America pull back, let Iran just do his thing. That's what's going on. In a nutshell, that's what's going on. Okay? So that's why right now you got the plague of flies. Plague of flies is people that call themselves Jews. They take controlling information. So they can pull this thing off before they get rid of us. They don't care about us. Not in that vein, right? Because they worry about their brothers, devils, who plans to get rid of them, because they killed our day, they killed our Jesus. That's the story, boss. Says you put that in there, then the whole thing comes clear. So that's what you got right now. That's the plague of flies. They're all over the place. They're in every industry, right? They got the money. They got control of the government. And what? All the folks is what? Why are they so focused on taking out Iran? Iran's 1,000 miles away from them. You see what I'm saying? Because they cannot take over the Middle East as long as Iran is there. But they're doing it slowly, step by step. But at some point, even they're stupid. Even at one point, they'll wake up. But like I said, but falsehoods can't wait for that. Basically, they're in a rush because Trump is in a rush to set up set the scenario to get rid of us. It's already set up. And it gives you a big hint because it says, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, and you see, right, it says, flee. It says, but you flee in panic. So you can't go in your house, get your baby, anything. Why would you, listen, if you flee in a panic like that you can't even go in your house, get your baby, you can't go get your coat, you can't do anything, you got to flee immediately once you see this, that means the trap is already set. They're closing in. And so they almost got it set. They're doing all the things. Look at these things. What did they apply those things to you? What did they apply to genocide to you? What did they apply to gathering up the people to you? All the so-called immigrants. What did they apply to you? The media's on board. They ain't saying a damn thing. That's what's going on, brothers and sisters. You want to get some help. But some of you are going to be lost. A lot are going to be lost. Said many went out, a few returned. Many be lost for lack of knowledge. Scripture tell you that. Because this is going to be cut so short, so close. We cut so close, boy. Ooh. Because they got a plan. Allah has a plan. Allah has the best of planners. Master Muhammad has a plan. Okay? So therefore, before they can take and pull that off, right? He's going to take them down. Take false Israel out. That false vision will be destroyed. This economy will be destroyed, which holding you up. American dream is going to be destroyed. This economy, see, it's failing now. It's going to totally collapse, and that's going to throw you out of your slumber. There was a song a long time ago that said, when your stomach speaks, it moves your mind. It's about to happen. I warned you. I said, go get some food. Go buy your a month's worth of food. Then you don't have to cook. I told you, get gas price going up, and you ain't seen nothing yet. They're closing on you. But Master Muhammad is getting ready to crush this before they will give you enough time, enough pause. I don't want to use that word pause. It's going to give you enough room to hear this information. Right? Somebody say, before you step in the trap, because you're already in it, before they pull the trigger, hey, get out of the trap. Because you're in the trap already. That's the mercy. I don't even like using the word mercy. That's the alert. Say, okay, you're in the trap. They get ready to pull the trigger and say, hey, hold it. Somebody, get off there quick, hurry up. They're going to pull the trigger. That's how close it's going to be. How close it's going to be. Because all these clowns are lying to you, confusing you, distracting you, and you don't see it coming. It said, will come to you as a snare. It's already set up. Trump said, pull the trigger yet because they ain't quite got it exactly like he wants it yet. Okay? If False knows that, they said, man, we got to get rid out fast. But we don't get them out fast, they get rid of niggas. They're going to help Iran get rid of us. That's the confusion going on right now. That's why they're pushing America. We got to get this done now. So there is some reluctance, and you see that's reluctance that you detect in Trump. But he's up against the gun because if he don't do it, they're going to pull the trigger on him. If he does do it, right, then he put America in jeopardy because now there's a superpower and they got control also. That's still going to destroy the economy. It's America. They like it's in a bind because they got Trump by the almost these politicians. That's what's going on, brothers and sisters. And you're the cause of it. You're right in the middle of it. And so, but you're gonna get the light. So people said in darkness, it's a great light. You're gonna get that. But you're gonna be time is gonna be very tight. I'm talking right now. We're in it right now. This is the time frame all this will be happening. So then you see why false was preached so hard. America's like, But Trump seems he's going against every promise he made. Because Netanyahu saying right on his ass, you better do this. We're going to expose, tell these niggas what's going on. You get the feel? You feel me? You feel me now? I know you ain't paying attention. But mass promise, this war's going to not go the way they want it to go. It happened suddenly. Something dramatic happened suddenly. It's going to cause a great reaction in the black community. It's going to cause Farrakhan, his people to be thrown out. And then you're going to get the light that you know trap is set. Right? Right. Now, when you pull a trigger, you're about to pull a trigger. That's the warning you're going to get. It's not much of a warning, but it is a warning. Step up, move out, get out of here, get out of that house. They can blow the house up, get the hell out of there, quick. That's how close it's going to be, brothers and sisters. And we're talking about days away. So I hope I explained it. But that's the plague of flies, right? That's the plague. And it's plaguing America. Well, this was plaguing America, and that's what the plague of flies is. Forcing America into doing things. Whole country's upset. Just think about it. They got so much power that they're not even going to Congress or anything. He just declaring war. They're going against all their laws and everything. Somebody's doing, he's going against his constitution, everything, all laws, because they're pushing them, because they know everybody's nervous. America knows they got to get rid of us. They don't need us anymore. That's why he's fighting. He's trying to find all kinds of ways, these tariffs and everything else, to try to hold off economic destruction. But these tariffs and carrying on. But no, he didn't have those tariffs and everything, the economy would be going already, because you wouldn't be buying any more American cars. You wouldn't be buying anything made, because most of the stuff that you get from China now, they got robot cities there. They're making stuff like much cheaper than anything you can make here, because they use robots to do it. They don't need people anymore. But see, this society can handle that, because they're a common society. So whatever money that comes in, they're shared amongst all the people. They can do that there. They can't do that here. They won't do it anyway. Because the money comes in, they go to the billionaires and everybody else. Yeah, that's fine. They can have robots. The people have to work at all. All the money they make with the robot, anybody comes in, they share it amongst the people. That's what communism is all about. America cannot compete with that. They cannot compete with it. Let me say one more thing. I'm going to close, bro. This. If you understand Civil War, it was the same problem. Similar problem. Because they didn't need you in the fields anymore. Right? Because they're building plants. They call them plants, they call them factories now, because plants would woke you up. Plantation, plants. Why come they don't put on plants anymore? Right? That's what they called them back then. Okay. So they needed field. So they didn't, the Emancipation Proclamation didn't come until later after the war started, because they was losing the war, the North was losing the war, League was losing the war. Somebody told them, if you tell these male niggas that you'll free them if they help fight, that's what it did, and they got them to fight, and that's how they won. They had niggas help them. But after that, those so-called niggas, right, that they put them in concentration camps and starved them to death. Don't take my word for it, that's a fact. Man, they carried laws. You can't have weapons because they didn't want niggas to have no guns. They said, man, come get no niggas won't have no guns. But he used the guns to help get rid of other devils. Right? Okay, so think about this for a minute. Just think about it. Okay, so now they had the plants. So Massa, this is before the war. This is what caused the war. So Massa, I don't even feel no more, but I still got these slaves. So they would go to the plant and say, look, you paying these white folks here $5 an hour to work. I tell you what, I give you 5 slaves. I give you 5 slaves. You give them $1 an hour. So you got 5 people, and they only had to pay them $1 an hour because wasn't money go to the slaves and go back to Massa. They go, okay, yeah, I get 5 people, and they don't give me no trouble. They slaves. I got 5 people for the price of 1. And the devil said, hey, you can't do that, man, because I can't compete against that. Remember AI? I can't compete against that. I can't work for $1 an hour. See? So they try to make compromise. You can check this out. They try to compromise the North and South. So, okay, right? Avoid war. They says, well, okay, you do that here, but you can't do it in the new states as you're going towards the West, right? You do it. We can't do it in the Western states, the new states coming out. They say, hell no, states, right? We do it any way we want to. We do it in Texas, we can do it in Georgia, any way we want to do it. And they say, no. They try to compromise. They say, no, we can't compete against slave labor. They getting all the jobs and we have nothing. That's what it was about. And so that's why they went to war about it. To stop that. Because as soon as the war was over, what they set up trade guilds, apprenticeships, and unions to make sure to keep the niggas from having those jobs. That's a fact. That's history. Same problem. They didn't need you anymore, and now you compete against slave labor. So they sent your industrial jobs to China. China's now automated AI. Now the point is, they're making stuff real cheap, and they can't compete against that. They got to get rid of you. Have no choice. And if they can't do it like that back then because they get rid of you. You're going to tear this country apart. Plus, you was the best industrial workers anyway. That's why Detroit was like a black Mecca, right? They was the best workers. You was the best workers. You think if you're going to buy a horse, don't you buy a broken down horse and the best horse out there? So they enslaved the best people on the planet. They're health and strongest. Now they can't compete against you on a fair course. So Detroit, you was like, hey, oh, no. So they sent your jobs to China. And they found you the best in programming. They brought Indians over to do it. They didn't want you to have it because you were getting strong and they didn't want you to have that happen. And you don't even know what's going on. That's what's going on here. So I'm not going to get to the rest of the stuff. Wait, I'm going to just leave it there, brothers and sisters. I don't know if you get this or not. This is happening right in real time. Not 20, 30 years from now. This unit Trump is saying right now. And Trump is the one that he got to finish the job. He's putting everything, he's implementing all. That's why nobody's saying anything about it. Republicans, nobody. Democrat, nobody. Because he's the one that implemented the plan. To pull the plug. Pull the trigger. Immigration said, oh, round these niggas. The other side, ain't nobody gonna say anything. The media's not saying anything. They do it here. Ain't nothing happening here. And the ones already got locked up, send them out to El Salvador. You don't see them no more. That's the plan. There was another plan too, but that got kind of sidetracked. Throw them in the river. I talked about that plan too. That plan got sidetracked because it falls Israel. Yeah, because the way it was going to give it to you before it falls Israel, start pushing the envelope about Iran. I might as well talk about it. They're pushing it. You got to move fast because we got to get Iran before they get rid of these niggas. But the plan before falls Israel start pushing their agenda. The plan is to go into war with China. If you understand the injury key, they're the river. The plan was, that was, I don't know why I shouldn't, it's not going to happen, but that was the plan when they started in the river. Because they were going to have they was going to get a war with China. They didn't want a nuclear war. Not a nuclear war, just a conventional war. Right? In a conventional war, they were going to start the draft again. And they was going to draft all the males, even remember they were setting up where even they could draft the females too. I kept saying, these white women, come on, we want our daughters in the military. They weren't going to put their daughters in the military and put yours in the military. And if they had a conventional war with China, they would have to have a draft. They got billions of people over there. They only got, 300 million here? They'd have to have a draft. They got more people in their military than they got in the whole country here. And we'll be drafted. You, most of the males, even the females too, most of the males, black males. And you was never coming back in that war. They would decimate the community down, made it down to 5% or whatever, even much less than that. Only be things left with old men and everything else. They didn't have no babies. That was the plan. And then when it got really bad, because they would lose that war conventionally, and when it got really bad, once they got rid of most of you, enough, then they settled. Okay, we'll settle. Not go nuclear. And then that's how it was going to destroy them in the river. Because remember, it's all about abortion, killing the males. That was the plan. That's why I kept pushing the war with Russia. But this will preempt it because they got their agenda. They got to get rid of Iran. That was the original plan. That's the plague of flies, brothers and sisters. Let's move on. Let me see if I can get here before I close. That's the plague of flies. So, I got now the plagues. Like I said, COVID, that backfired. But they tested on demons. They tested on their own people. Black-faced devils, black-faced Caucasians. They got the same nature as them. They just look like us. And it worked. It was killing them. But yeah, we got it, man. This will take care of these niggas, right? And they put it out there, and it was taking out demons. It wasn't taking out us because they backfired, because they realized it was their own people they was testing on. That's another story altogether, bro. Since it backfired. Right? It was supposed to get us. That was the plan. It's like AIDS. It's not stored together. That's not one of the plagues, though. The plague will start immediately, and did. It started immediately in 2020. 1619, 2019, a plague immediately. A coincidence? And now the plague of flies come right behind it. You got other plagues. Maybe I'll talk about them tomorrow. I already have a presentation. I did speak to them directly, each one of those plagues. Before Stephen finally let us go. But Farrakhan said, we ain't going nowhere. So why is God making these plagues to get us out of here? And Farrakhan said, we ain't going nowhere. So who's he with? Okay, see here? Let me talk about this in a minute. It says, by your seed, you understand the scriptures, your seed all nations be blessed. Let me just touch on this. I'm going to close, brothers and sisters. That means, if we bless them, means we bless them with, if you bless somebody, I mean you give them some of yours. I mean, how are you going to bless them out with somebody else? Something that you own, you give them. By your seed, all nations be blessed. That means all your nations be blessed from something from us, from our seed, from us. But how is that? Because look at the situation. America's blessed off our labor. That's how they got power off our labor. That shows you the nature of the blessing. Show you the nature of the blessing, brothers and sisters. I don't forget, but it says we'll be afflicted and enslaved. We serve them and be afflicted by them. That's why it says two things. I don't know if I want to get there or not, but the affliction would be a pressure that causes turn to diamonds. Right? But the affliction, right? But the servitude means they using our energy. See? So now it makes a diamond, it means more powerful for them because they rocks, but we turn a diamond, it means more powerful for them. But our serving them means They was living off our energy. So they live off our energy, that means whatever they produce is ours, because that's our energy. That's our energy. But they got control of it. But once we get control of it, then everything they produce from that energy is ours. Yeah, I think I understand that. If they producing anything from our energy, whatever they produce is ours, because that's our energy. It's still our energy, but they got control of it. It's still energy. So anything they produce for the energy still belongs to us. So let me hold a thought. See here, how false Israel? They getting rich because they claim they from Israel, and they go by who bless Israel, we bless, who curse. So that's how they get rich. Because everybody saying, "Hey man, these God's so people got to help them." So they getting rich off of us too, off our identity. The Arabs, that's our land. It tells you right in there, our land is Arabia, between the river Euphrates and the river of Africa. I think that's what they use. So they getting rich about land. They make oil and everything. That's our land. I just told you, China's getting rich off industry that they didn't once have, they gave to them. And India's getting rid of AI, they didn't once have, they give to them. And Farrakhan getting rich, he claimed he's the one, so now he's getting rich, and he got a nation, he's getting rich, he's got multimillionaire, claiming he's something he's not. See, all of them, they get rich off our energy. But they get rid of our energy. That means whatever they're getting rid of energy. That means if they live off our energy, that means we own them. If you understand that, they get rid of our energy, that means we own them. That's what it says. We say, by your seed, all they be blessed. You think that's a great thing for them? Why is it a great thing for them? Why we want to bless them? That means they're taking something from us. And look, we got nothing. You see what I'm saying? You got to look unto what they're saying there. By your seed, all they be blessed, but you have nothing. That means they're getting rich off of your energy. That means everything they have belongs to you. So what they produce with that, if they take $1 million from me, they owe me $1 million. They take $1 million to invest it and buy a house with it. Okay, now the $1 million is in the form of a house. So I say, where's the $1 million? Well, I don't have it. I bought a house. How much house? Well, that house belongs to me then. So by serving us, by serving America, right? Everything they ate, everything else was from our energy. So how they produce, how they reproduce? They produce from the food that they eat and turn into sperm cells and produce something, but that's ours. They use our energy to make it. That's what say they be carried captive all the nations, right? Because now they turn themselves into slaves, permanent slaves forever, because they're our energy. They took and converted our energy into their form. Remember, you take your energy, take energy, you say, okay, I'm going to take this money, I'm going to turn it into a house. Okay, you transform it in the form of a house. They took our energy and transfer it in the form of themselves. So that energy takes the form of them now. So when you look at them, that's our energy. It belongs to us. We just don't know it. Once we have our mind back to realize they belong, that's why it says they take captive all the nations, they can serve us now. Forever. No resistance because they are energy. Your energy doesn't resist you. Your own energy doesn't resist you. You get it? That's why it says affliction can be affliction and servitude. So affliction with pressure, they turn into diamonds, turns into gods. See, we know what the fuck we doing. You know what the fuck you doing? They listen to these clowns out there have no idea what they're talking about. They're going to pay a heavy price. Oh boy. Most grievous chastisement. We're wise. We know exactly what we're doing. Okay, you want to press us? Okay, go ahead and press us. How the hell you make a diamond? You got to press it. You got to press that coal. You got to put a lot of pressure on it. He said, oh man, damn, this heavy, I'm hard. Oh man, I can't, oh man, it's, oh, I can't, this, oh, and then look around one day, you don't feel the pressure anymore. Damn, what happened? Then look in the mirror and say, God damn, I'm a diamond. Wow. And when that shit, you don't remember that shit no more, do you? All you remember is, man, I'm bad, damn, woo, woo. I'm a goddamn diamond, man. You forget all that shit you went through. I people with diamonds now, all they need is a diamond cutter and diamond shiner. So I'm gonna tell you, you're sinful, you're shit, he's shit. No, my people, I feel with diamonds. All you gotta do is need somebody to come in and they find you diamond, you get diamond out of the coal mine, it still looks like a piece of coal. You gotta shine it up. See? And then all the shit they was doing, now, that's why I call them beasts to speak to us. So now they're beasts, speaking beasts, who are going to serve us with no resistance because they're made from our energy. Am I making sense to you, brothers and sisters? That's what's happening. That's all about. And this war is about to break dice. Time is up. Everything's been done. Now the God's on the scene. Right? It is, brothers and sisters. I can tell you a little more about that than the God on the scene. That's where it is, brothers and sisters. I hope you, but you understand not. That's how it is to God. You know, it's time. That's what this war is about right now. They're scrambling around. But it doesn't matter because whatever they're doing, right? It's like you got a whole lot of ants out there, they fight with each other. You know, red ants and brown ants, they get to fight. They have friend wars, right? And you come along with your big foot and just step on them and all that fighting. That's what's happening. When you rise all years, shut all that shit down. And that's what they're trying to stop you. And they cannot. One thing to do is let you stop yourself. That's why you get your mind back, because they gave you their mind. If a cat's got a dog's mind, then the cat is going to beat up cats. He's going to hate cats. He got a dog mind, he's going to hate cats. He's going to beat cats, he's going to beat himself up. He's got a dog mind. So that's what gave you their mind. That's why you acting like you acted, acting against yourself and in their favor. Farrakhan is here to make sure you keep that mind. Understand, brothers and sisters? So I'm going to leave it there. Well, no, it's farther than I expected to, but I didn't get to everything I wanted to talk about. Oh. Let's see what's happening. What else I got here? So that's the war in heaven, brothers. That's what it's all about. Break up that deception. Time the deception is over. That's this war. This war is about. Right? To ignite that light. Springtime. That's what it's all about. When it's over, leave it there, Bill. Says, Assalamu alaikum. 9 plagues. Plague of firstborn, blood, frogs, gnats, flies. I just tell about flies. I'll tell about the other ones too. Maybe I'll get around to tomorrow. Livestock. Right. All these plagues, hail, America's experience. This during tribulation. Most of them during tribulation, which will take place once you got your mind back. False Israel's gone. That false vision is gone. You got your mind back. Got proper vision. Right? And now you got to act on that mind. Make sure you got your mind back. You got to act on it. If you got your mind back, you're going to achieve Hajj, united, see the great army, protect your women, so forth, so on. And that certifies you got your mind back. Then you go home. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.